Hi everybody, I hope you guys are doing great today. This is going to be a February read for the whole month, okay? And I am going to break it out into weeks as we go along. And for each week, I'm going to get into the specifics of the minutia kind of transits, but right now I want to just talk about the largest things that are happening in the sky, and then I'm going to get into the specifics for each sign. So each of the signs are going to have this part of the video front loaded, and I'm going to timestamp below. So if you're not interested in listening to the astrology, that's totally fine. Just check out the description box and just fast forward to whatever time is indicated that the tarot is going to start being pulled. Okay, we do have a lot of things going on this month though worth talking about. So let's start with February 3rd. Mercury is entering into Pisces. So it's going to be there from the 3rd until the 4th of March. And when Mercury is in Pisces, our thinking processes are more visual, more imaginative, more intuitive. We are especially in tune to our emotions, which ends up inflecting and coloring both our thoughts and the way we communicate. So, we express ourselves with imagery and we make decisions very intuitively. Our intuition is going to be really turned up. So we're definitely going to feel more of an affinity to things that are consciousness raising, during that transit. Then on the 7th, we have Venus entering Aries. So Venus is going to be in Aries from the 7th all the way to March 4th as well. And in Aries, love is very spontaneous and direct. Like the chase is very exciting to us under this influence. Just think about Aries. Think about Venus, right? With this thing that we love, our connection with money, right? And Aries, which is the Emperor energy, right? Which is about, I want to just get it done now, So we're both very it's an exciting energy because we're both bold and motivated, but a little impatient when it comes to areas having to do with relationships, intimate relationships, any sort of matters of the heart. The funny thing with this energy though is, guys, like with Aries energy underneath this, we don't look back with Aries energy. We're not interested in saying sorry or dwelling on the past. It's like a brand new day. What's done is done. The toothpaste is out of the tube, as I always say, right? It's time to make things work right now and not really focus on everything that happened in the past. Because Aries is known for love of the chase, right? And the conquest. But Aries love can be very long-standing nonetheless, as long as it remains pretty fresh and exciting, right? But also in this energy, remember, Aries is very blunt. Like there's no sugarcoating with Aries, which is actually what most of us love about Aries. The thing is, this can sting. Now, we could be this way to other people can be this way to us, but rarely is this Aries energy mean or petty or vindictive. It's not like that. It's more about just saying it like it is important in this energy, because it's a very Aries-driven energy. Desires are strong and expressed very spontaneously, enthusiastically, and very directly, because Aries prefer to get right to the point. They prefer to seduce rather than to be seduced, to chase rather than be chased. It's very kind of like up front and center, and we're all going to kind of be feeling it, very strongly. Now, those of us who were tuned in, we're going to be able to recognize that energy, and we can take opportunity with it, because it's all kind of good, really exciting. Then on February 9th, we have the full moon in Leo. So this marks the beginning of a new cycle. Okay, the rule of the moon is the sun. So the phase of the moon is occurring at 20 degrees and 0 minutes of Leo, affecting people born with personal planets and points at approximately like 15, 16 to 24, 25 degrees of the fixed sign. So that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, the most significantly. We're all going to be feeling it, but especially those placements. And here, in this energy, you're going to feel safe in moments when you feel like you can impress others and get some kind of praise and some sort of admiration, some sort of attention. But yet when you get into the spotlight, or you're getting that attention that you swore you wanted, You might find yourself at a loss for words or feeling uncomfortable. So just be careful and clear with yourself about what you really actually even want right now from a person or a situation. Because this can be a time we should all be admitting to any fears of criticism and really looking at our ability or inability to accept criticism right now. It's very, very important to accept feedback during this energy, to use it for improvement right now, right? In whatever area of life that's impacting you in. Now, for many of us, this full moon will peak on a Sunday too, emphasizing the role of soul in the horoscope. And while the Aquarian sun, right, because it's what it is, isn't making any major aspects to other planets besides Mars, his ruler, is aligned with the nodal axis and Mercury. Okay, so we have this Aquarius sun, which is the only air sign present, but there's plenty of fire with the moon, Mars, and Venus all in this warm element. But it can end up feeling kind of restrictive or suffocating, since fire needs air to burn brightly, right? But it also has a habit of consuming all the oxygen. You follow? So it's uncomfortable and it's like a disjointed energy. So you may just feel like a little off, right, during this time. Just like a little off, like a little left of center, a little restricted, where you're starting to feel this restlessness because you're starting to feel this change. And guys, when I said that January was like, step 1, round 1, this is step 2, round 2. We are really in a very definitive way moving forward. So there's this restlessness that's going to be really starting to poke at us, okay? Now on the 16th of February, we have Mars entering Capricorn. And this is Mars is in Capricorn from the 16th to the 30th of March. And Mars in Cap is debilitated. It's very deliberate energy here. We consider the future and the consequences before taking action during this cycle. So our energy is reliable and it's very faithful. We're very slow to anger, but it can be really, really cold if we're frustrated, if we're feeling frustrated, where we kind of go into like shutdown mode. Because the shadow side of this energy, like the shadow side of Mars in Capricorn, is being very rigid, very single-minded, very focus in a very narrow way. So it's just something that we want to keep in mind. And then on the 16th, we have Mercury turning retrograde in Pisces. Okay, here we go again, guys. But you know what? We can't sweat Mercury going retrograde. It's literally retrograde half our life. And it's like that for a reason. And it's not a big deal. It's really not. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Mercury retrograde, it's a time of everything. Revisiting things that you started in the past, renewing things, anything, okay? What you don't want to do, if you can help it, is to start anything brand spanking new. Like, not the best energy to start a brand new relationship, because typically the energy does not support like a strong foundation being built. Same thing with the job or whatever. But you know what? Listen, the truth of the matter is, if we really look at what we're doing, for example, if you got a job, you've been waiting for this job and it comes in during Mercury retrograde, don't be crazy. Take the job. Just make sure you read the fine print, because what can end up happening is it ends up not rolling out initially the way you were first told or you first thought. Same thing with a relationship. Things end up not being how they first presented themselves, okay? But we can't stop life, okay? But this is a very different kind of Mercury retrograde, I think, in Pisces. It's going retrograde at 12 degrees of Pisces. So it's going to be retrograde from February 16th to March 9th at 28 degrees Aquarius. But the shadow begins February 2nd and ends March 29th. So it's kind of like a long transit, really, if you think about it. And really here in Pisces and Aquarius, the water signs are emotional and sentimental, and the Pisces and Aquarius natives are also very full of imagination right now, like big time. Confusion, lots of emotions rising up to the top, right? Everybody's going to be up in their feels, because think about Mercury doesn't actually go backwards. It sort of just stops this movement, right? So it's like hanging there in Pisces, which is the most mature water sign, right? It's the most mature out of all the water signs. It's very deep, ruled by who? Ruled by Neptune. I mean, it's just like this deep, earthy, dreamy energy. So there's going to be a lot of feelings going on here. And there is difficult compatibility between Mercury and Pisces, but even more challenging with the retrograde motion of Mercury in Aquarius. Is with Mercury retrograde in the water signs, we can expect some revisions of the unconscious emotional patterns of thinking that we've been holding. Like, what makes you feel secure? What makes you feel insecure? Where do your allegiances lie? And when do you tend to react out of habit without thinking? Mercury retrograde in Pisces or Aquarius will make you aware of these things, allowing you to correct them, to do some really deep psychological healing, which is really good, but you just need to be prepared to be up in your fields, right? Because then on the 18th, we have the sun entering Pisces. And this is going to be from the 18th of February to March 19th. And with the sun in Pisces, we're guided by very altruistic feelings. We're less motivated to do than we are to feel and to imagine and dream. And, you know, it's kind of like that Que Sera Sera song, you know, it's like whatever will be, like whatevs, you know. We're guided by our sense of like these universal connections. Pisces rules empathy and selfless love and devotion and wisdom. Its shadow side rules self-pity and a feeling of being victimized by life and elusiveness and passivity. So we want to just make sure that we're really functioning in our highest vibration, because if you are by any chance, because everybody's in a different place in their life, if you're feeling these things, just really just understand it's just that sun placement, right? In Pisces, it's going to pass, but try to figure out a way of pivoting yourself out of that. Okay, now we do have the Jupiter sextiling Neptune on the 20th. Jupiter at 17 degrees, Capricorn 45 forms a sextile to Neptune at 17 degrees, Pisces 45. You know, I like this. This is the first set of 3 that we're going to have of this Jupiter sextile Neptune. So this is the first one, right? And then the second one's going to be in July, on the 27th of July. And the third is going to be in October 12th. So with this longer term aspect, idealistic and dreamy goals or impulses end up surfacing now, okay? They come up to the surface now. Making connections with others from different backgrounds or who just... I mean, I think is what ends up really showing up more than anything is people who live differently from us can show up in our life right now. And what ends up happening is we widen our minds through unusual or different experiences that we have through other people, and that could just be part of our story during this time. You know, it's like practical things take a back seat during this energy. And we're feeling very generous and very compassionate. Our faith is boosted. So I think this is really, really positive. We're definitely more inclined to make personal sacrifices for what we believe to be the higher good for those people or situation in our lives. So that is a really beautiful aspect that's so nice to have as support as we go into this new moon on February 23rd. Because the new moon in Pisces on the 23rd is very special, yet it could feel like a foggy one. With Pisces playing host to both Neptune, right, the moon's ruler, and Mercury retrograde, the traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, for those of you who aren't sure. And some of you guys actually mentioned that I was incorrect in saying that that Neptune rules Pisces, and you know, no, Neptune does rule Pisces now. Jupiter there's been a lot of changes in astrology. That's why I say astrology is very similar to religion in certain ways, right? Because we have different systems, different beliefs, but we're all kind of going for the same thing, right? Pisces, so the traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. So we do still kind of consider that in there when we're thinking about things. Now 18 degrees Capricorn aligned with the modern ruler Neptune at 17 degrees, but it's going to be squaring to Venus at 18 degrees of Aries. Okay, so remember that Venus governs our relationships, finances, confidence, things we love to do for pleasure. So these things could feel challenging with this square at the new moon. And yet, despite the tension in the stars, this is still a sweetly aspected and productive new moon to work with, because Mars has left Sagittarius and now joins the South Node in Capricorn, the last in a long line of planets to connect with this karmic point of shifts and goodbyes. So this indicates some final pushes, guys, removals and eradications that are underway. It's a wonderful detox energy of letting go of that dead wood that I've been talking about. It's all being set in motion here, right? So this is all about stage 2. You know, this is good. This is good. And Mars perfectly aligns with this new moon, as well as the nodal axis in Uranus too. So this is all about synchronicity right now in very easy formation, allowing us to invoke the change that we've all been working on with less pain. It's just not going to be as difficult as it's been to release things from our lives. Okay, and that's just something that we're all just generally going to be going through. Okay, and as I go through each week with each of the signs, I'm going to be getting more specific with house placements and whatnot. But right now, I'm just going to go right into pulling for your sign, just the tarot messages for the month of February 2020. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you on the other side. Hi Aquarius, I hope you guys are doing great. Let's get right into your crowning oracle. Pull a rebel oracle for you guys. Hope you guys are doing great. Thanks so much for hanging with me. So these are going to be general messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Guys, remember, might not be your message this time. Don't try to make the messages fit if they don't fit. All right? Try to catch you next time. Too many of you to catch everybody all the time. Remember, the energies could always be flip-flop, vice versa. And you want to make sure that you check for your rising sign, moon sign, and your Venus sign, especially your rising, at least your rising. That is arguably more important than the sun sign. It represents your personality and how you view the world and how the world accepts you. So it's definitely something to think about. Messages for Aquarius, conscious connections. I like this for you. This is a really good energy for you guys for February. This is an energy that's calling for more intimacy in your immediate relationships. There's an opening for heart-to-heart communication that can salvage and restore a broken relationship or friendship if you're willing to honor the differences and look at the things that unite you guys. And sometimes it's hard to deal with the differences between one another, right? You know, one person just might be into different things, but we're not here to judge one another. We're here to love one another. You know, so this energy brings guidance for you to trust in the sanctity of the connections in your life right now. So for those of you who maybe have been asking to experience a more sacred connection with people who truly get you, you know, like really get you and want to play life with you rather than at odds with you or against you, then this energy confirms that this manifestation is on its way. And it might not be obvious at first, but kindred spirits are going to enter your life to help you connect with your deeper feelings and creativity. So this is really, really nice. And if you've been asking for healing in any kind of current friendship or immediate relationship, know that this can happen through your willingness to really express your true feelings and allow the situation to either fall apart or come together, right? Or, you know, it depends on, because these are general messages, so it depends on what's necessary here. But sometimes webs, you know, need to keep in mind, sometimes these webs that have joined us together with people are broken, and it's appropriate as people can outgrow each other, right? Things that once hold us together sometimes don't seem to fit anymore. So sometimes the ties that bind us together are so strong, though, that they're able to withstand a great deal of pressure, and they remain intact no matter what goes on, you know? So the web of connection between us will either sever or sustain, and that is just the way it is, right? As we go through the ebb and flow of life here. But this energy is really pushing you to stay open, because there are going to be healing connections that are going to allow people close to you, and they're going to be people who are meant to be on your path. Whoever's not meant to be on your path, you're going to have relationships and friendships falling away. You know, definitely falling away, especially friendships, guys. Especially friendships. So that is that. So let's pull I like that for you. It's a beautiful energy for Aquarius, because a lot of times Aquarius do feel like people don't get you, as you guys think out of the box, You guys are more interesting than most of the other archetypes. It's just the way it is, you know. You guys just think on a different level. You just do. Okay, all right, so let's get into this. I mean, you guys are ruled by Uranus, for goodness sake, so it's all about doing things different. It's all about ideas popping in your head and you just wanting to go with them. Whoop. Okay, that was crazy. Okay, and we're going to end with a brief love oracle read. Not very long, only because I am going to be doing a longer one because Valentine's Day is coming, okay? So remember, these are general messages, so I'm going to be interpreting them for relationship, intimate, friendship, family connections, or career. However it resonates with you. Okay. Okay. So, beautiful. Foundation energy. I like these two together. The star is where you're coming from. This is your past. The star's a beautiful energy. It's about healing, and it's about healing with like sacred blessing. You know? It's a beautiful, it's Aquarius, so it's you guys, first of all, right? And this is you in the past, okay? Your energy in the past. And guys, Aquarius, you guys are insight plus emotions. Like, that's what Aquarius is. You guys feel deeply. Night is the water barrier of the water carriers. But you have this insight that the other archetypes just simply don't have. You see things. You function at a different frequency. It's really quite beautiful. And that's what's happening here in this energy. Okay? So I'm getting in your past, there was some sort of healing having to do with a relationship, a friendship, some issue that rose at work where there was just some sort of discord, right? So apply that as you see fit. It could certainly have been a reconnection or wanting to heal with a family member or a close friend connection. Because then we have the Six of Cups in the current position right now. And this is a card, first of all, of reconnection. So for many of you, if you're getting back together with an intimate partner or reconnecting a friendship of some kind, which very much feeds into the conscious connection oracle, this tells me that, first of all, this is a reconnection card, which is amazing because we do have Mercury retrograde this month, so there's going to be everything. But it's because there's a beautiful missing and there's a nostalgia and there's history here. And whoever this person is, they really tapped into that childlike bone, that childlike, you know, freeness that you feel in your soul. Now, for some of you, this could be you literally visiting your family, your home of origin, or you're running into old friends. Maybe you're going to some sort of function or something where you're seeing people that you knew once upon a time, but you haven't seen in the longest time. You haven't seen in the longest time. So this is really, really interesting. So you're going to be feeling that. I like that, but then check it out. Like, you're crossed by the moon. And I think this is awesome because this has you thinking. The moon energy, those of you watching me know I have a very Jungian approach to this card. I don't think there's malice as far as secrets go and all of that. I don't view it as that at all. It's not how I understand it. I view this as us looking at the deepest parts of ourselves that we haven't known to look at, haven't really felt comfortable or ready to look at yet. And this is, you know, listen, all 12 signs are going through this because everybody's leveling up in 2020. But you guys are doing this here front and center in month 2, where you're really looking at your stuff. And the good and the not so good. You know, you're remembering back to past relationships and past situations and, you know, what happened, why happened, what did happen, you know, and really getting in touch with your role in all of it and looking at where you can, first of all, appreciate how you handled certain things, feel really proud of yourself, and at the same time, try to redress where maybe you could have shown up a little better. You know, and I do feel, though, that this has to do with something from your past, some sort of past relationship. Crowning you, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is somebody coming in with a truth, okay? And they're coming in a little trepidatiously because they have this armor on, right? As knights do. Why do knights wear armor? To protect themselves so they don't get hurt. I mean, that's why, right? But this is a Taurus and Gemini energy, so some of you might be dealing with either a Taurus, a Gemini, or a combination of both in their chart, right? But if we think of these two together, this is earth and air. So this is a very earthly approach, a pragmatic approach, practical. Think about pentacles. What is it? It's mental, physical, emotional connection, and it's also being on point with finances, or at least on the way. And Gemini is all about communication, ruled by Mercury, right? So the Mercury is being revisited. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So there's a lot of solid connection, solid communication coming in as your crowning energy. I do like this a lot. It's something is coming in that's new, that's excited. But what I like about it, it's got that Taurus vibe in it. So Taurus, again, is about earthy. Taurus is also ruled by Venus. Venus rules what? Love and our connection to money. So it's this new communication coming in, this new idea. There's a newness coming in that's going to actually prompt us to remember something that we were involved in at one point in time. This could have to do with a past relationship. And if it's not a past job, it could be something that we thought about once upon a time that we really wanted to try, that we really wanted to get into. So this could even be an intuitive message coming in, or an actual message in the 3D. It could be a person coming in, offering something, right? And we have the Hermit energy reverse. So this is you guys being very pensive, really seeking just your own counsel. Well, you might be dealing with a Virgo. This is a Virgo energy. But in the, in the reverse, this is like the shh, don't tell anybody kind of energy, where you're thinking so deeply about things and you're just really not sharing, which is fine. I mean, you're taking the mental space to do a lot of thinking, but you just don't feel ready to talk about it yet. So I feel like many of you are being between the Hermit reverse and the Moon energy, you guys you're very, very pensive this month. You're thinking back to your past. There's been some kind of healing. This new message is coming in, okay? So there's a lot of like deep shifting inside of you. So then we have you right now. You're the Death reverse energy. Love this energy, because as soon as something dies, something else is born in its place. It's a Scorpio energy ruled by Pluto, which is all about transformation. So this is really, really good. And this could actually, guys, be happening internal. And I am feeling that only because we do have these two very deep pensive. I mean, these are the most pensive cards. The Moon and the Hermit. I mean, that's like digging through your basement, looking at what's there, kind of thing. And for a lot of you, Aquarius, I feel like you guys are really looking at, how you've been doing relationships. I'm only saying that because of the Conscious Connection Oracle and because of what's happening in the sky. A lot of us are going to be looking at, what do we value? How do we show up? Where do our allegiances lie, as I mentioned before in the astrology section, right? So this could really just be very internal, where you're recognizing that you don't want to think a certain way or show up in a certain way in a relationship anymore. You want to do things differently, or you want to start mandating for yourself that you run with people who are closer to your vibe, For those of you who feel like you need to defend yourself all the time in relationships, the hell with that, right? You don't have to do that anymore. But this is really coming front and center with this idea, But there's definitely something ending. It could be a thought process, or it could be after doing a lot of thinking, you're realizing that something just doesn't belong in your life anymore in the way that it's been. And then we have the Three of Wands energy here. Now, the Three of Wands energy is external to you, rather, right? So this is not you. This is an external influence to you. So this is a Saturn in Libra energy. Saturn is the great taskmaster, slow movement, and really promoting change in a fair way. Libra is all about fairness, ruled by Venus. So this is a move, okay? Moving forward, that's going to be beautiful. Really passionate, lots of will. This is an exciting path that you're going on. And the thing is this, though, part of the process here is turning your back on a path that you've been on. Understand, we walk on many paths at once, right? We have paths in our career, and we have paths in our personal relationships, intimate and friendships, right? We have all these different paths. There is a path that you're turning your back on, but there's such an exciting opportunity, and this is coming from external. There's an exciting opportunity coming in that's going to suddenly make you realize, where you want to shift your path, where you want to shift your energies, that it's just so much more in alignment with you. This is really positive. This is being able to appreciate everything that's right in front of you, you know, and feeling the bigness of it all. Does that make sense? The bigness, but the passion, feeling very passionate about the start. So something is ending, but something new is coming in right away, and it's offering you this new beginning. And your fear is, you know, okay, so what? You know, it's the Ace of Cups reversed. This is a mental energy, and you're just afraid of not having this new start in the way that you are envisioning it in your mind. So you just want to make sure that you're staying within the realm of reality with all of this. But it's very funny because I feel like, you know, just because you guys are ruled by Uranus, right? And I feel this is like a very Uranus vibe. It's like something ends, boom, something begins. All right, let's go. You know, and we're going to go do something different, you know. That's such a, right? That's such a vibe that's going to be like alive and well, first of all in the sky, but especially for you guys, because that's your ruler. But then we have the Eight of Cups. You know what? I like the Eight of Cups in the upright better than in the reverse. This is you really accepting the end of something. So this could certainly be the cycle in a job. This could be the cycle in a relationship, a friendship, a family connection. And you're walking away. You're walking away from it. And it's a healthy walking away, though, guys. It's recognizing with a heavy heart and some disappointment that something has run its course. There's not that, is in the reverse is more of a lament and a challenge and letting go, you know, and really holding on. But there's like a healthy walking away and, you know, looking out yonder and recognizing that what's on this side can't move forward with you. But I feel like there's going to be such a sense of acceptance here regarding this. It's all about this High Priest. This is your future. This is your near future. So the High Priest is equivalent to the Hierophant, which is a Taurus energy. And think about Taurus again. Earth energy, Pentacles, has to do with mental, physical, and emotional connection. Ruled by Venus, anything Venusian. This is in your near future. This is your truth of what you really love. Think about Venus rules what we love. It rules our relationship to money in a healthy way. So if this has to do with the job, this is you moving into a job that speaks to your heart more intimately, and you're going to be making money. If this has to do with a friendship, this is you leaving behind friends that really have no business on your path because they're judgmental. And they're not in the same space as you. If this has to do with a relationship, this is you walking away from a space where you just didn't feel accepted as you, for you, being you. And this is you getting really in touch with that. So I really like this. A very healthy vibe here, Aquarius. Really, really healthy. You're cycling out of something. You're definitely cycling out of something. Now, I have to say this, for many of you, this is a general message, so it's not going to be for all of you, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say what's been poking at me since I pulled these cards, is I do feel like many of you are going to be reconnecting with somebody from your past. I mean, with this Six of Cups as the situation right now, this is a healthy reminiscing. This is thinking about somebody from your past, a friendship from your past, a situation from your past, where you're like, it's one of those things where you're sitting like, oh, wait a minute, why did we not work out again? Or why, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, that was really messed up at that time. But in the scheme of things, where are we all at, you know, in that, having to do with that right now? Things just not bothering you in the same way as they once did. And you really giving this a lot of thought and recognizing that, you know what, that might be the truth for you. That might be what you need to leave. So you might be leaving something here that, if you're resonating with that, and certainly you're going to know if you are. You're going to know if you are reflecting on somebody or not. If you're not, then this portion of the reading is not for you. If you are, then I feel like whatever situation you're in right now, you're going to be cycling yourself out of. And you really are going to be getting in touch with your truth in the High Priestess energy. And for many of you, it's going to be reaching out and reconnecting to somebody from your past. And it does seem like it's going to go well. You're scared that there won't be a new beginning, but this is only in your mind. Don't allow that to block you. Just understand that whatever you're moving towards is healthier than where you're coming from when it comes to this. So if it's a job, if it's a relationship, it's a friendship, whatever it is. Yeah. Okay. So Aquarius, that's what I have for the Celtic cross spread. Let's pull for relationship for those of you who are in the space of relationship. Now, the Celtic cross spread doesn't have to have anything to do with the relationship read. It doesn't have to. That could be, that could have been about work, family connection, friendship, anything. Or it could have been a different area within the love. Okay? The point is, apply it to your life as you see fit and don't try to make it fit. Right? You always have to say that because everybody's at a different stage in understanding tarot and understanding how to use the messages to the benefit. All right, we talk about the energies that are available, right? It also depends on what else is in your chart. So we have to really be mindful of that. I can't encourage you enough. If you don't know what your birth chart is, just go to a free birth chart calculator and find out what your placements are. Because your sun sign is only your ego consciousness. It's really just such a minuscule part of your overall self. Treasure your loved ones. Back to what you want, back to what you love. Isn't that what we've done? Practice compassion. See things from a fresh perspective. Okay? That's the Six of Cups energy. Okay? Practice compassion. Back to what you love. Reevaluate your desires. That's the Six of Cups energy. Treasure your loved ones. It's important to love others deeply. Beautiful. All right, so let's see how these play out. Let's pull some love oracles, and then we'll pull a couple of Island Time Wellness and see what comes out. Back to what you love. Freedom. Surrender. Sexual union. Wow. We have two major label cards. It's unusual. Sexual union. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, for there is where you'll find true bliss. Freedom. There is nothing stopping you. The path is clear if you want it to be. Surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. Well, yeah. This is definitely in alignment with the Celtic cross spread, guys. So, for those of you who are resonating with it like that, yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, I do get this idea, though, that you are moving out of a space in some way, right? This is very nice. Very nice. You can't get much better than this, Aquarius, I will tell you that. You just can't. Palm tree, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, flexibility. Isn't that what we want? We want to be like palm trees in our relationships. Think about palm trees. They go through storms, they bend over in the wind, they get tossed to and fro, and yet they're standing at the end after it all. Twin flames, yin-yang, Zen balance, union, duality, coupling, complement each other. Beautiful. Engagement ring. Engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. And guys, this doesn't mean that you're necessarily getting engaged. It's metaphorical, right? For you to be in that space. So I feel like for some of you, the Celtic cross spread may have been connected to this. It certainly could be. okay? That you're going back to somebody where you're feeling this energy. But for a lot of you, I am feeling called to say that I feel like the Celtic cross spread was more friendship, even over career. I'm getting that for a lot of you. And that you're in a beautiful space with this, with your relationship. There's an appreciation. There's a deep appreciation here. I like it. There's a deep appreciation that you guys are like cut from the same cloth. Beautiful. It's beautiful, Aquarius. I mean, nothing needs qualifying. This is just a gorgeous, like, love read. And, you know, I hope this resonates with you. That's all I can say. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.